All right, everyone, welcome back into another MLB Props video. Going to be breaking down the top prop bets today on Tuesday that you could possibly use for your Taco Tuesday bets as well. Let's go ahead and get into it. Now, first, we're going to go ahead and get into a quick recap from some Sunday bets that I called out kind of in passing. I wasn't able to come out with the video on Monday, but looking at it, guys, Garcia was one of the bets that I specifically called out as a bet that was too good to pass up on. Just as an FYI, this was on the NBA video. Again, not always able to do MLB videos because of the lock time where it just doesn't become worthwhile to put out a video content-wise. It's an annoyance there. I try to come out with videos pretty much as late as possible for you guys so we can, or you can benefit from that. Even though it somewhat hurts the channel view-wise, I would rather give you guys the best bets possible, even if it hurts the channel a little bit. But anyways, that's why I'm not always able to give out MLB videos. It's mostly due to game start time. And these were just two other prop bets that I kind of mentioned in passing. I mentioned that, like, you know, MLB-wise, we're actually getting a better slate. Now, on Sunday, it ended up being a pretty good slate in general, just with a lot of the top prop bets just hitting. Hopefully, today ends up being that way as well. I do want to start off with the best hot and cold batter and pitcher matchups, though. And so I do want to start off with Francisco Lindor and Jeff McNeil for under their fantasy scores. Now, what we're going to notice is that a lot of people are actually betting on Lindor to get over his fantasy score because he has been on this hot streak lately. The issue is that he gets a matchup with Mitch Keller, which strangely enough, he has not fared well in. Now, it's a small sample size through 10 at-bats. He's only had 2 hits. He's had 5 walks, though. Okay, so that bodes well for him. But 3 strikeouts. Okay, so not really the best spot for him specifically. If you don't want to bet the less than because he's been on such a hitting streak, I understand that fully. Okay, but I did want to call that out. That's a popular bet that we probably shouldn't be making. You probably shouldn't be making. I know a lot of people just bet based off of that. Don't do that, guys. Okay, it's a trap. And then Jeff McNeil is a little bit more interesting as well. So he's had 12 at bats, only 2 hits. Okay, which is obviously not good. He has had 1 home run though, 1 RBI because of that, and he's also had 2 strikeouts. So basically, one of his hits have been home runs in 12 at bats. Okay, his batting average is .167. So obviously not good there at all. Okay, so I do like the less than there for him today. And then let's go ahead and get into another game, guys. We got Houston versus KC here. You got Valadez in a pretty interesting spot. Okay, so he has kind of dominated in this matchup here against KC. So let's go through all the players that he's kind of done well against. So we'll start with Garcia here, and obviously he hasn't been hitting all too well recently. In 12 at bats, he only has 1 hit and then 2 strikeouts. I mean, that's just terrible. His batting average is 0.83, just absolutely garbage. Okay, so I do like the less than there. If we're just looking at matchups, this is a little bit different than NBA. I should call out where I am happy to like target matchups and chase players that are like hot and cold a little bit more. In NBA, that doesn't really matter as much because there's a lot more variables that go into it. Sometimes batter versus pitching matchups are just good spots to get to. Then we talk about someone like Bobby Witt Jr. as well. He has also been someone that has struggled in this matchup. So through 16 at bats, he only has 2 hits, and he also has 5 strikeouts, which is a lot. So a batting average of .125. So obviously not good there as well. He struggled. Then you also have Perez, who hasn't been hitting the baseball well recently as well. He has 1 hit, which was a home run. He does have 1 walk as well. 4 strikeouts though through 10 at bats. Okay, so he has a batting average of 100, which is also pretty bad. And then on top of that, you could look at someone like Hunter Renfroe as well, who through 16 at bats only has 2 hits, 2 walks, and 6 strikeouts as well. So like maybe Valadez for over 5 strikeouts could be a way to go as well. I don't mind that option. And then we do have Soler going against Dylan Cease. And so this is an interesting matchup as well. He has had 20 at-bats in this matchup, 0 hits. He has 4 walks though, but 12 freaking strikeouts. So he's only not striking out 8 times, and 4 of those times were walks for what it's worth. So very interesting spot there as well. He's been terrible in this matchup, so I am fine getting to the under. But I do want to take a peek at all of these bets and see how they maybe grade out on the 9-to-5 cheat sheet, just to make sure we're not like trapping ourselves into some bad bets. And so we're really not getting any fantasy score lines for them just yet in terms of like the average sportsbook line for the most part, just because we do not have like a full sample size. Basically, all of them are like 50-50 splits right now as it currently sets, or just not getting enough of a line for them just yet. For the most part, it is basically right at what we are currently getting as well. And so I'm okay with that. Vegas is not always like just looking at the matchups too much, and so that's okay. But for the most part, none of these are suggesting that we should avoid it based off of the current data that we have. So if you like those matchups as well, you could be attacking the unders there as well. It is worth calling out though, if you are trying to do that and you want to stack a bunch of them, do some on like Underdog or another site, and then you can also attack some of those on PrizePicks. This does apply for traditional sports picks as well. You can stack those matchups that we are getting. And then let's just take a peek at which bets are going to be the best bets today. Okay, and we are getting several of good bets once again. This is, one of the interesting things about MLB right now is a lot of the lines are coming in pretty darn low lately, and it's kind of a nice spot for us. And so with that, we kind of just want to take the bets that are like, obviously a 54% likelihood or better to hit. Like we always want to be doing that, but we want to be attacking the ones that are like the biggest differences between some of the lines that we are getting. So like what I mean by that is we look at Jordan Walker here. His PrizePicks line is at 3.5. Average sportsbook line is at 5.75. Okay. And then the average sportsbook line is about 5.76. Okay, so all those are kind of telling us that he could be in for a good day. The run total isn't the highest, so I don't love that. And they are 1.2 run dogs, so not exactly an awesome bet, but also not terrible there as well. And so, another one, okay, looking at it, is going to be George Springer for over his hitting fantasy score. Again, just kind of simply put, guys, projection data has it closer to 7. Average sportsbook line has it closer to 6.5. These are kind of the small little things we can do to maybe differentiate some bets that are basically the same, because we look at Daniel Shireman here for, I need to look up how to say his name, the pronunciation guide for that name. But like for him, the projection data only has him about 5.43, which is not terrible. The edge is based off of the average sportsbook line, which has him at 6.5. So, we'll take that. But again, if we can just find these other bets that are a little bit more greater in terms of the big prop line differences between the projection data and the average sportsbook line, I would rather do that a little bit more so. And so like this is a good bet. We also have Max Kepler here as well. So we have about 5 bets right now that are pretty darn solid. Now, the issue that I'm noticing here is for the most part, all these bets are in low game totals, or they're in game totals where the teams are not favored to win. And so that does become a slight concern for me, just a little bit. Another one that I like here is going to be Andrew Vaughn for over his hitting fantasy score as well. Again, we're just trying to find, slight differences that we can, potentially gain some edges with. And as always, guys, once the underdog lines come out for their fantasy scores as well, and for pitching fantasy scores as well, we'll be able to find a bigger edge doing that there as well. And so we're going to go ahead and get into the 9 to 5 bet of the day. The first one is going to be recapping those really good matchups that we have, guys. If you want to use those for traditional sportsbooks as well, you can do that. The second bet slip is going to be more designed for PrizePicks, and then potentially underdog, maybe considering whatever lines underdog comes out with. I have noticed underdog's lines are slightly higher for MLB, and PrizePicks are slightly lower. So just be aware of that. Make sure to be checking the 9 to 5 cheat sheet before placing those prop bets to ensure that they are still considered good bets as well. And for what it's worth, you can use this bet slip with PrizePicks as well if you guys want to do so. The payout is not being discounted as well, but again, we're more just trying to attack some good pitching success against some poor batting, okay, in specific matchups. And so you can do this, and it's actually not discounting the payout at all, which that's the ultimate goal with those bets is having bets in these matchups where it's not being discounted at all. And then this is what I'm looking at for like just the hitting fantasy score ones, the good spots that we have right now on the slate. Again, this could change slightly. Maybe they become better or slightly worse. Just be checking the 9 to 5 cheat sheet before you place any of these bets if you are a 9 to 5 member. If you're not, access to that is only $10 a month. Gives you access to all the tools available on the website. Take advantage of that, guys. Great deal out there. Thank you for watching. That's going to do it for today's video. Again, make sure to give a like and subscribe. If you guys are interested in any like PGA Championship content, head on over to 9 to 5 Golf. That's the YouTube channel there. And then I am slightly working on an NFL fantasy site, fantasy football YouTube channel as well. I should phrase it that way. I will be potentially highlighting those videos there as well. I'd like to keep it separate. YouTube algorithm kind of makes me have to do that. That's going to do it for today's video. Thanks for watching. Good luck. And as always, let's keep cashing.